he's like on edge the whole time, and then he sees him coming. He's like that. He's like... Welcome back to James and Flav for now. We speak the morning after, the night before, Everton versus Liverpool. Pop your... I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
That was football. Football, that was. Do you know that, Jim?
Was that football?
Yeah. Do you know? I don't know if you knew, but that was football.
It was football, wasn't it? And in the let me talk you through the steps of my evening last night, because I may have poked the bear a touch. All right.
You tell me what you've done, and I'll tell you if you've poked the bear, or if you've done anything wrong, right?
Oh, okay. All right. So I watched the game. And let me tell you, I'm going to explain the whole.
Well, there's
situation.
Your first mistake.
Yeah. That's a good point. So I watched the game. Normally I watch the game right here in my office, right? But I'm having a problem, which is incredibly boring, with EETV, where I can't seem to get my details for my TNT. So I have to watch those games. A game that's on TNT, I have to watch it in my living room, right?
Correct. That is boring.
Yeah. So I watch it in the living room, and Kai, my producer, is an Everton fan. I was like, oh, I'll watch it with him, with headphones in, and we'll chat along the way. So we watched the game, enjoying the game, but obviously chatting as well. So not really listening to the commentary that much.
You saved yourself.
Did I?
Massively.
Really?
A massive bugbear about commentary, co-coms, everything.
We'll talk about that. And then at the end of the game, I'm like, oh, there's obviously just like a quality gap, but Everton had sort of given their best. And I hadn't really sort of zoned in on the refereeing much, and what I would have been intrigued to see if Liverpool had sort of got away with the victory, then how would anyone been bothered about Mikel Arteta as much? But I guess there's a ripple effect there, to be fair, with the sendings off and all this stuff. Anyway, like you said, that's football. I was very, very excited when the goal went in, and pleased for my friend who has to soldier on as an Everton fan, which is a very difficult task generally, right? And like the goal was class. It was the centre back popping up, back post, walloping it, like proper goal, absolute scenes, and I enjoyed it. So then I said, right, I'm going to pop upstairs now, and like the whole point of the second channel was like I could just chat like I used to. So I then start talking about it. And the thing I wanted to get across was that what will happen here is that people will talk only about Liverpool when Everton deserve this moment, because they've not got the quality that Liverpool have got at all. And the truth is, when it comes to the performance, Liverpool were like, and this isn't that deep, like, because Liverpool are killing it this season, but Liverpool were poor. Liverpool were poor in that game. They had
Jim.
They had a bit of magic from Salah, which is like you're very fortunate that you got Mohamed Salah in your team, and he can do things like that. But Everton deserved that, and I didn't want that to get forgotten. Now, as I go up the stairs, and then I put WhatsApp on, because often we're like just figuring out a thumbnail or a title. I'd gone up there because I was just loving bloody football, right? I was just busy loving football.
Same.
I go up the stairs, and then on WhatsApp, Kai sends me a message, and he goes, bloody hell, Liverpool fans. And it's someone from another WhatsApp group that he's in that has sent screenshots of Mikel Arteta doing dirty to Liverpool over the past.
Oh, my Lord.
And I see that, and I go, oh, I guess that's a talking point then. And so then in the video, I'm going, and like people are going to go after, because obviously stuff happened after the fact. But I thought Mikel Arteta didn't do that bad. That's where I made a mistake. And I think I said the phrase, he had a good game. Now, in hindsight, this is where Kai really did me dirty. During the game, there was a moment where there was like a flicker and I couldn't see the game. And it was when Salah was like charging right near the end of the game. And I said, oh, I must, like my the EETV things, like the weather's done it. I went, what happened? And he said the words, "You didn't miss anything." And I was like, so then when I've done this video, everyone's going, I'm getting messages, people saying, "Didn't you see this? Didn't you see that?" What I will say, what I say is, yeah, okay, there's a dive, bit of a dive for the first goal. But defend the set piece. It happens constantly for everyone. That's one thing I'll say. The Salah, he should have got a foul. Absolutely should have got a foul. And I hadn't seen that because that was like the one bit, which no one's going to believe this as I'm saying it, but whatever. But people were going, and then they went up the other end and scored. I've just watched it. I've just gone on Y-Scout to watch it. They didn't just go up the other end and score. Like, decisions get made all the time. And I've got to be honest. This conspiracy stuff, like, it's too much. It's too heavy. And people.
It's pathetic.
It's too much. It's too much. Refs are, and look, I'm guilty of it. Flav, we've been to QPR together. I will absolutely hammer the ref. And so that's what I will say as well. Is like, when you've had that kind of game and it's been that kind of emotional, and then all that chaos has happened afterwards, and then I pop up and go and say the stuff I say, I totally get why everyone's getting pissed off with me. So fair play, okay? All right? I'll putting my weapons down. But the next day, I'd take back that he didn't have a good game, but this conspiracy stuff has just got to stop. It's too much. It's like, it's mad. It's on a new level now.
Anyone spouting this stuff genuinely makes you look pathetic. You look stupid when you start talking about conspiracies and a cabal and that referees have an agenda against a specific football club. And we've seen multiple times how Liverpool have benefited from decisions. Everyone does. And sometimes everybody doesn't. And you just have to understand that human error, even with VAR is going to be a part of the game. It doesn't mean that there's a cabal of referees that are trying to stop Liverpool winning the league. Do you know how stupid you sound to everybody else when you say that? No one's going, "Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, no, shit. I didn't realise there was a conspiracy against Liverpool. Ah, right. Yeah, go on then. Go and win the league." No one cares whether or not you think there's a conspiracy. No one genuinely thinks that there is a misbalance towards the way referees approach a game involving certain football clubs. No one genuinely believes that with a modicum of intelligence. They don't. They can't.
Yeah.
They cannot.
I think, what I will say is, I think when I flip it round, and if I was a QPR fan, those are the same things that occurred, I would be really angry at the ref's performance. Box that
by all means.
One singular performance. I would be really annoyed at that.
Many.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Well, no, yeah, but that's where I think that's the nonsense for me. Is this like? So what we're saying is, if this is true, is that Michael Oliver has a conspiracy against specifically Arsenal and Liverpool,
both teams that are going to win the league. So really, they cancel each other out if this conspiracy exists, doesn't it? No one benefits.
And as I say, it's important for me to say that I appreciate like the emotion of the game and like the timing of me, which is just kind of YouTube ways, isn't it? That you like, the game's done, I pop up the stairs and we talk. And I thought, you think that's fine. And now, and people get really angry. So like, I think they're absolutely within their rights to be annoyed at certainly the first goal. And should Salah get a foul? Yeah, but are there other moments when other people can get a foul? Some people are annoyed about Konate getting pushed in the back. I've watched that again this morning, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
I don't care. Like, this shit happens in football matches. It isn't a big deal. It happens across the board. Do you know what? This reminds me of Brendan. I mentioned this. I don't know whether I mentioned this before. Probably to you. Brendan Johnson desperate to buy Benteke, even though he wasn't the right footballer for him, because he kept.
Hang on, yesterday you said this yesterday, which I'm happy. I'm excited to hear it again. But you also yesterday said Brendan Johnson.
What did I say?
And then today you've just said Brendan Johnson.
And that goes into my point here, is that everyone's obsessed by their own football clubs. I can't even get another manager right?
Done it again, says Jack.
Yeah. So my point is that proves my point. Is everyone's obsessed by their own football club, so much so that they're not they can't see the wood from the trees. They can't say the fact, right?
And that is understandable, to be fair. Like that's the thing I want to say. Like
it's understandable. It's also fucking irritating to everybody else. No one cares. No one cares if Liverpool have been hard done by. You tell all the Liverpool fans in the pub care, don't like, or talking to each other. Oh, yeah, haven't we been hard done by? But everyone else just gets on with their life or gets on with following the football. But my point here about Brendan Rodgers is that he had such a positive impression of Benteke was because Benteke always scored against his sides, and he signed him on the idea that he was so impressed by his performances against his sides that he ignored all of the other stuff. And that's what's happening with Liverpool. Is they've become entrenched in their own bubble here, which is fine.
Which is human. Like it is.
We
human
all do
nature.
it, but no one cares outside your football club. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I think that the on reflection, what's interesting to me is something for me to keep an eye on. Because the other thing I did is I went up the stairs. I didn't go on Twitter. So I didn't see what was trending. I just enjoyed the game, went up the stairs and spoke about the game, right? But what is absolutely true is that when I'm enjoying the game, and the idea of this channel is for me to be able to have a more casual conversation, so I don't have to be outrageously glued to it. I can just enjoy the game and go up and have a chat about it. So when I'm doing that, I'm letting stuff go from the ref and different moments throughout the game where it's not that big a deal to me. Whereas in terms of what, like you say, what you're seeing as a blind spot, the stuff that I'm not seeing, there's constant injustice that Liverpool and Everton fans will see throughout. Like, Everton fans were saying he was generally pretty bad as well. But because I'm not bothered either way, I'm like, is it that big a deal? So
no, it isn't that big a deal.
What a game, though! I enjoyed that last.
There's much more interesting stuff to be talking about that game rather than Liverpool fans are, incensed by these refereeing decisions. It was brilliant.
Yeah. Just to be clear on that, they are okay. If you want to jot that down,
that's clear.
Check my comments,
mate. The best thing about it, right, was if you've seen two players that get it more than Decore and Curtis Jones.
Yeah, I thought that was a glorious moment for all, really. Not actually, less so Decore. Curtis Jones in particular, I thought, yeah, go on, go fucking get him.
No, especially Decore. Especially, I thought, this is for Everton, I've even had a couple of Spurs fans going, saying, it was just a draw. I don't know why Everton went so mad. I was like, what are you talking
I said that
about?
in the video. I said people will do this thing where they're they go, all right, guys, you've drawn. And that's, if you're on the Liverpool side of it, that's absolutely your angle, and you should say that. Yeah, it's like Man City going, yeah, I get it, we're shit right now, but we're champions and we've been the last 4 years, so just shut up. So I'm fine with it, but it's bollocks. It's absolute bollocks, because the Everton fans, they would have had the head-to-head thing was that sort of, I don't know. I think there's a lot of this is the fact that I see the QPR Chelsea as the Everton Liverpool a little bit with this. So okay, you get all the trophies, you get all the attention, you get all the money, you get all the best players, you get all the goals, you get all the wins, you get all the European nights.
Yeah.
Just let me fucking have this. And they'd stuck to task and hung in there. And so for them to get that in the last minute, they absolutely should be going mad at the end of it.
Oh, mate, I actually thought it was a little bit reserved. I would have been sort of literally diving off the top of the stadium onto the pitch and ended my life. I'd have been that excited. But Decore understood what that meant to the Everton fans. And for a moment, I thought, that's a fan on the pitch. Yeah. When he went over to the Liverpool fans, you don't do that because it does send you mental. Naughty, if that happened to me, it was naughty, yeah. Mate, I've seen Thierry Henry practically run the length of the pitch and knee slide in front of the Spurs fans. I think he's scum because of it. Yeah. But it's the right thing to do. There's essentially a statue outside. I think it's of that moment.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I had you. Well, we've spoken about on this podcast of me throwing the 9 pieces of chewing gum at Fabregas for the same thing.
You go crazy.
So I'm
go crazy.
Yeah, I'm I think we all, yeah. We're all supposed to feel, aren't we? But I think actually that was glorious. And sure, because I started to get I started to get like DMs and all this stuff, and then I was like, oh God, okay. And I went, oh right, let's have a little look around. I saw the Football Ramble done a video, and they like 50 minutes ago it gone out, and love Football Ramble, and they were talking about the game, and I was thinking, I wonder if they'll talk about Michael Oliver, because I think there's a Fulham fan, and I don't know who the other guy supports. And they didn't. They said rightly, the first goal was a bit cheeky in terms of the foul that they got, because Ndiaye did dive, absolutely shouldn't have been a foul. But that's all they said about it. So I just think it is interesting in the sense that, like, yeah, what you see when, depending on how invested in it you are. The truth is, Liverpool, it's a good thing, really. Is that, like, Liverpool can have a £576 million team on the pitch, and Everton can have a £208 million team on the pitch, lose their best player, still get something out of it because of the fans, because of, like, a desire. Like, these are all positive things, I think.
Hasn't Moyes done a wonderful job?
I hadn't noticed until Fam got back from Paris, and she's been working out there, and she got back and she went, he's got lovely blue eyes. About David Moyes. And I think,
there's a little spot. He's back. He's back where he should have been.
Yeah. There was a really long camera angle of him for a bit where they touched him and he was just going like this. Because I think he was I don't know if he's watching the ball or watching the game, but he just looked really confused and lost for a second.
But there's this thing, and I've done it, right? I've looked at my players and gone, nah, he's rubbish. He's no good. Like, they're so good, these footballers at this level, like, insanely good. And it just shows you what can be done and how a group of players can be galvanised by one human being over another. And Moyes has come in, and he did it at West Ham. He's proven over and over again that he is an excellent coach and manager, and it's just really turned Everton into something that they weren't this season. And they were legitimately, I mean, as soon as Moyes took over, you're like, yeah, he keeps them up, so there's no problem here. But they were legitimately in trouble this year, and they don't look anything like that team again. And, you know...
And I do stand by the fact that, like, especially without Ndiaye, that is a poor team and squad. Like, but he's getting, he's able to kind of get the best out of them. I fear for him a little bit now. Look, without Ndiaye, that's a big problem for him, I think.
But what? I mean, they're not going down. What's the fear?
Be all right. They should be all right. Yeah, you're right.
There's no chance.
But yeah, I think I just want, like, I don't want Everton to get lost in this. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what's? Because this happens all the time. Like, Tom Jordan's there. Tom, pop into the. Can you talk? Are you able to talk? Because I bet Tom's had to feel this a lot, and I've heard a couple of people talking about this recently. About, like, understandably, you've got your A side and your B side, and Liverpool are the A side because of the the fan base they have and all that stuff, and 9 days out of 10 it's going to be like, it's all about how brilliant they are. But like on a day like last night, I was like, let's not forget Everton in all of this. Like, they've had scraps to deal with. I don't think Tom Jordan come in. Thomas Martin, son of Nigel Martin, was at the game last night. He says, where are you? He said, of course people say it's just a draw, but it was the occasion, and it was what it was because it was them.
This is it, and it's an amazing thing, really, that Everton and Liverpool has become like a really tasty derby after being a relatively flat one for a long time. Not flat proper, like it's, there was always a little bit needle, because I've spoken to Everton fans and Liverpool fans, but they kind of shared the city, whereas now there's a genuine about a needle. Like, it's almost like Everton fans have gone, do you know what, we're not having this anymore. Like, the last 10 years, like, we're not comfortable just sitting as the second club in the city. And while it's difficult to topple what Liverpool have achieved, no, it's impossible to topple what they've achieved. There's like this, they're walking with their heads up, like, a little bit. That's what it feels like from the outside. I might be completely wrong.
Well, no, it's your opportunity to do that. Like, it's the same, like when you play when you play Chelsea, like, and that's why, like, say you like the needle in it. The reason there's needle in it is because you're so far off them. You're going to have to do whatever you can to get your moment in the sun. So like,
yeah, this is it. It's like it's kind of like with Spurs, like growing up. It's with Spurs and Arsenal because obviously there are parallels to this, right? Whereas for a long part of my experience following Tottenham, we've finished below Arsenal in the league, and they've made it a point of that, right? They as they should revel in that. But I feel and show zero respect towards Arsenal, and so I won't respect anything they've done, and I don't applaud them in any way. That's the correct mentality to have if you're a supporter of Everton. You look at Liverpool and you're like, you're nothing. You're not. Despite everything you've achieved, you are absolutely nothing to me, and that is important to kind of have that mindset when you've got a rival that their fans are just fortunate enough to have followed a football club that have been more successful. That's all it is. Other than that, they're nothing.
Yeah, and it's just it's all part of the fun, isn't it? Right. Yeah. Like that's what I love, the bloke picking up the corner flag. The guy's like,
in it.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you see that, don't you? Sometimes like people like when they celebrate, they're sort of running towards the corner flag and go, "I'm going to kick that," just because you just feel like you should.
Of course you should. The thing is like that is the last ever good the derby at Goodison. And do you want Liverpool another? They'll probably make a song out of it. The last ever, whatever it might be. Do you want them to have that? No, of course not. That's your turf. The whole premise of rivalries in football is that the enemy come to your turf, your stadium, and they try and take the piss. They try and win. They are sing their songs. That's the premise. That's what you're giving them by losing. What Everton denied them was the opportunity to say that last game at your historic stadium, that place you call home.
Yeah, we owned you.
We beat you on your last ever. Do you remember that? We beat you. In the 98th minute, Tarkowski saved Everton fans from having to endure that. And Liverpool fans, we wouldn't even, it's even beneath me. No. That would have been something to beat Everton with, another thing. And they didn't have to endure that last night. That's why they celebrated.
Yeah.
And more power to them.
That's what I thought. I nearly got, I think, Rory was saying this on his new podcast, Internet Dads with Spencer. He said, well, like once you have like children, you come like just like an emotional mess, a lot more. Like the floodgates. I know I cry when I laugh, which I'm expecting to do today because we've got some amazing stuff to talk about. But you just generally like blub a bit more. And when the Everton fans were singing, I guess that's why they call it the blues. I thought that is so perfect. Yeah. Like obviously, the song itself and what it means in that word of the blues, but also it being Everton, obviously who are the blues, and then the fact that they hadn't even won that game and were still just singing that with such joy. That's iconic stuff.
Well, it is. And is there a fallout? Is there an impact on the title race now?
I don't think. No, I'd be amazed. I think it opens up a tiniest of cracks just because narrative-wise you've got you've got Plymouth and then Everton in terms of back-to-back games. You played very, very different teams in both of those. I mean, I would say, as I say, I thought they were poor, and I thought it was important that you don't get away from that they didn't create anything because Everton stopped them. But because they seem to lack a certain amount of creativity to kind of get it done themselves. But I do think the atmosphere played a big part.
Plymouth. Now this.
Cracks? Liverpool cracks? We calling it?
Fucking hope not. Like, despite everything I've said today, I am desperate for Liverpool to win every game of football left.
So, in terms of games they've got, Wolves next at home. 2 o'clock kickoff.
I hate the 2 o'clock kickoff. You won't know anything about a 2 o'clock kickoff.
Sundays on a Sunday.
But I'll tell you what.
Go on.
I'll tell you what. 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
You don't know your ass from your elbow when it comes to 2 o'clock kickoffs, mate.
Go on.
Stay out of this one.
What's wrong with yeah. Hey, I'll back away.
They're just a bit of a pain, really. A weird time of the day. No one's really up for it. You kind of don't. You want a late one, really, if possible. Anyway, like Wolves, that you think they beat that, but they got tricky games after that. Haven't they got City.
Let's have a look. So I mean, every game's tricky. You got Villa after that away, 7:30. That one. And then Man City, Newcastle. We always do this, don't we? It's how you say it, is it? Southampton.
Southampton.
Man City. See, I can look. I did read this. I read this two different ways, right?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, this is great. Like great batch here. So I'll do this opposite ways. First of all, Man City, Newcastle, Southampton.
Yeah.
Newcastle in the FA Cup, in the cup final. Everton. I've got to play Everton again. Or you can go. It's actually quite tough because they got Man City, Newcastle, Southampton. But then they've got the EFL Cup final, which is massive, obviously. And then Everton should beat them. Yeah, so you spin it out whatever way you want to. I think they will be absolutely fine. Do you know why? Because with 7 points clear, they don't have to be perfect right now. And I think that will allow them to just keep on trucking. And
also, and Arsenal have lost Havertz, haven't they?
Yeah.
Right, so I need to get your take on this, right? Because I'm like messaging going, boys, Arsenal have lost Havertz the rest of the season. And they're like, yeah, but this is generally what I've got back. Yeah, Havertz is shit, though. And I'm like, he ain't shit.
No,
he's good. Shit. He's really good, in fact. And I get people the tired trope is Havertz is no good. And Arteta brought him in and as like an 8 or a weird midfield position that no one really understood. It's funny that, isn't it? He goes, no, he's going to play in midfield. I mean, like, what? And he goes, Arteta's either a fucking genius and is doing something with Havertz that we've never seen. And then just slowly just creeped up into that 9 position, hasn't he? Where he's always played. Anyway, but is this? Am I right in saying that Havertz is really important to Arsenal in that that false 9 position and the way they build up is kind of perfect for the way they play?
He's very. He's a great footballer. He's not a great goal scorer, in my opinion. That's we've done a video on the main channel, like analysing every shot he's taken. And there are some moments where he's great, and he works so hard, and his link-up play, like they're talking about Šeško, Havertz's link-up play is better than Šeško's, in my opinion. So in terms of like overall package and what he brings, pressing as well, he's a big part of the starting point of that as a bit of a pressing trigger along with Odegaard. They work really well from that point of view. And he holds up the ball. He drifts over to the right-hand side a lot of the time to sort of help out in terms of getting up the pitch as well. So, yeah, he's really important. And also, I think it's as much as like... What's a better example? Well, it's funny, like most teams don't have 2 great strikers. You know, 2 guys that you go, oh, okay, he can't play. All right, well, we'll play him, and that's fine. There's not many teams that really have that, actually, these days, off the top of my head.
They probably have. They've got Jesus and Havertz. Well, they're both players that could play in that role.
Well, Jesus has got but Jesus has got an ACL, hasn't
he? Yeah. So it's quite unlucky for them to lose 2 of their. Like that's a key area. To lose 2 of their players in a key area means it's difficult to operate in the way that you want when you lose key players like that.
Yeah, and I think.
Yes, especially like when it's 1 or 2, you're like, oh god, that's difficult. But when you lose both your centre backs and your goalkeeper, around about 4 of your outfield players, and Dominic Solanke gets injured, it starts to get difficult, doesn't it?
It's just an excuse. Get on with it. Hey, get on with it. That's true. I did think that. I was like, you can't, Arsenal fans, you can't talk if you've been throwing the shade at Spurs about the injuries. You can't do that to the same level. I think they don't have anyone in the same profile from a striker's point of view, which is a problem. What I would say, to go and win the league is one thing, and I think they kind of need to be perfect now, or pretty perfect to go and win it. And apparently Moreno's been training up front for them, so he might be this kind of striker that they go for. So that's hard in itself, just in what is a really confusing Premier League, actually, which I actually wanted to talk about that briefly. But they will win more games than you have with the same kind of injury record because they play a much more functional, probably some might say less free but smarter.
All right, or they've just had less injuries than us. That's why they win more.
Could be that. But they'll win. They'll probably win games by not conceding and scoring with a set piece.
What is that? What you want now? Just loads of teams not conceding. Is that what you want from your football matches? Is it? Is that what you want, James?
Not personally.
Well, is that what people want? Because if that's what people want, that's what you can go and watch if you want. Let's go back to the days of just boring 1-0, shall we? That's what everyone wants. That's what seemingly everybody wants. Jamie Carragher wants, doesn't he?
Tom Locke says, I'm going to need Liverpool to get their shit back together. I can't have a depleted Arsenal limping to a title because Liverpool bottle it. I think
they won't, man. They were a Rizzler paper from winning that game.
Yeah. I think they're absolutely fine. And again, look at that game, right? I thought Van Dijk and Konate were brilliant. So that as a starting point is amazing. Van Dijk's mentally good. He's got his aura's back. There was a moment where he got the ball and he just sort of stood there nonchalantly. And I can't remember who it was. He sort of went to go and run at him to sort of press and get at him. And then he just sort of... There was this big force field around Van Dijk where he just went, nah, I'm probably going to leave it. Because he's just they just don't believe it anymore. You've got Salah up top. Sorry, just to finish that. You've got Salah that will win you games on his own. And that's the problem for Arsenal, is Saka's out as well. That's enormous.
Yeah. Mate, what was you saying about the Premier League?
So, the Premier League is... I was thinking about this. Is this the most difficult to feel about every club? Because every club is weirdly not in outrageous form.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's almost like the competition is live.
Yeah, I think it's very good. It's confusing, not for me as a QPR fan, because I can kind of go, well, no, it's no one's outrageously good because everyone's really good. That's my thought on it. But
that's my thought too.
You know, when you think you're just on fire as a team, you generally think the top teams are on fire. But Liverpool, we're pushing out some cracks here, let's be honest, when it comes to Liverpool. But Liverpool, last game was a little bit shaky. Bournemouth game, so. I haven't seen it properly. Arsenal,
well, can I just
along.
someone?
Well, there you go, 5-1 in the last one, but then they lost to Newcastle, so they're feeling a bit funny.
But as a fan of a club that's obviously having to sit through it and seeing other teams week in week out, I'm going there is maybe it's because Spurs are shit this year or have suffered injuries and therefore are shit. I've never gone into a game thinking we don't have to worry about these lot, whereas previously I have done. And that's it. I look at you look at it, even the teams in the bottom three, and they've got players that can hurt you. Kuna should be playing for a Champions League team. So should potentially you've got even Ipswich. You've got 3 or 4 players. You got. Oh man, who am I thinking of? The geezer on the left hand side
for Ipswich.
Yeah,
Jack Clark, your bloke.
He's a left back. He's a left back.
Leif Davis.
Oh, mate, he's class. And also, you've got Wolves who could well go down. You've got Cunha who's going to, as I said, you've got Ait-Nouri on left back. He should be nowhere near a relegation threatened team.
Yep.
You've got Gomez in midfield, and you're like, this is a team that could go down, and that is what you need. That's what you want.
Yeah. That's
what it's all about, isn't it? And that's why I'm terrified that Man City might win the fucking court case against Premier League, because all bets are off if that's the case. It all goes to shit. It means Newcastle and United and City, and it's you think there's problems with the top 6 being a closed shop. Now, when the Premier League, as discussed just now, has never been more balanced. If that happens, we are fucked as a sport. It changes the Premier League massively.
So what is it? Is it if they lose the court case, they're never going to spend whatever they want?
Yeah, because it means that the Premier League can't enforce their rules. Because there's a precedent that's been set by a court case. That's how laws work.
Right.
Essentially, is it worth the Premier League taking another club to court if they feel like they can't win? It's really expensive.
Because they didn't win the first one.
Because they didn't win that one against Man City. Newcastle then going to go, well, we're going to spend what we want because Man City have already lost. And here are all of the things that they couldn't prove. There is a benchmark of how we can operate and stay on side.
And do you think the Premier League guys know about this? That this is quite a big deal. That they need to make sure they win this one.
The Premier League lawyer.
Hang on one sec. Yeah, guys, this Man City thing. Are you sure about this?
Yeah.
Because you best win. Because otherwise, it's going to be crazy.
The other issue.
Okay, fine.
this is pretty important, right? What you've started here is pretty important. But they had to do it. They had to start if they find wrongdoing. So it's for the betterment of everybody, barring Newcastle and Manchester United and probably Chelsea.
Yeah.
And maybe Arsenal. It's better for everybody else.
I might have a new bit, right? What's something? Because I just thought about, imagine the Premier League lawyers probably just going, like, knowing they've got to start this whole ordeal, and then going, they know they've got to, but they just want to go. They have to do that a lot. There's going to be a lot of sighing come from that. What's the least arduous thing in your life that you just like, I just don't want to do that.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Well, off the top of your head, is there anything that...
Well, no, when Spurs get battered, right? I've said this to you to loads in our professional career and personal friendship, where I've gone, I don't want to do this, James, and you're like, I know, mate. I know. You're like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Oh,
I mean, it's like walking into a meeting at work. I just don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be around these people.
Yeah. On a very, like, I don't know, on a simple level. When my son cries, I'm like, in the middle of the night, and you're lying there and you're like,
yeah,
I've got to get up, haven't I?
No, what if I just stay? What's going to happen?
You do fit in my head, I'm like,
could I stay?
I'm really tired, but I really love him. He's upset.
Yeah,
he's upset, but he's not going to be upset forever, is he?
And I'll still love him.
And he goes quiet. Sometimes he'll go quiet for a second. And you go, go on, son. Just go to sleep.
Just go back to sleep.
Yeah, and then you got to get up. I think that probably getting up is one, isn't it? Generally.
Yeah. I don't want to do this.
I just want to stay here.
Have you just on it with your son? Because how old is he now? He must be.
He's 3 in April.
Wow, nearly 3 years old. Mm. Have you tried telling him? Like, I've explained him that, like, during the night you don't really want to get up because you need to work and pay the bills and that and the mortgage.
Yeah,
have you explained this to him?
You understand? Yeah, I need to be. Yeah, I don't know. He was. No, I haven't. We've got like this. We've got this clock thing that's like a light, and then we call it. It's got an owl in the middle. We call it Owly, and we go. Remember, the day doesn't start until Owly lights up. Now, Owly lights up at a certain time. And so he has to keep quiet till then.
That is good. Do you know what my dad used to say to me?
That's such a good one. Sorry. Go on. What did your dad say?
Well, if I was crying, I'd get him. He'd come in and he'd go, if you don't stop crying, all the monsters are going to come out and get you when I leave the room.
We do that with brushing teeth. You go, you don't want to upset the bears.
Yeah.
Some belters already from our beloved patrons. If you want to become a patron, join us. We do our mailbag yesterday where we spoke about someone's kink for revealing celebrity deaths to people, amongst other things. We've spoken about Bevo in recent weeks, and it's generally a good time, the mailbag. So if you are listening, do like the pod.
Chilled out, relaxed thing.
Very chilled out. And it's nice to have a good chat. We were chatting with Ollie Sage, who's doing brilliant stuff, who actually was probably in the comments last night. He's a Liverpool fan, probably getting super angry with me. But hopefully we can move on from this. Thomas Martin says, getting out of bed for a piss.
Mate, look, so I'm in the process of trying to buy a house at the moment. We've just got the final contract through, which is quite exciting, but also it just means that all of the work and the money's got to be spent soon. But anyway, part of the reason why we're buying a house is because we only have one toilet in our house, and it's all the way. It's from where I sleep. It's the furthest most point of the house away. So it's so far away that there's no way I can maintain the level of sleepiness I need in order for me to get back into bed and fall asleep straight away.
Yeah.
So I think to myself, this is a mind over matter thing. I know it ain't. I know it's a physical thing where the piss is in my bladder and it's full and it needs to come out. But I think I can do this. I can make my body believe that it doesn't need a piss. And sometimes it works and I go back to sleep.
Really? Right.
Yeah.
I'm sort of trying to stay in that place for a bit, but then I'm like, I'm staying up longer by thinking about this. Whereas I could just get up and get it done. Matt Robson's another good one. Putting the shopping away. Oh. Fucking hell. I'll go and get it. I'll happily go and do the shop. Just don't make me
put it away. No, and the problem is that I always one of the things I pay for is the shopping. Right, I always pay for it, and then I'm kind of thinking, and then there's this sort of slow realization about 3/4 of the way where you look at your trolley and go, "Oh my god, all this stuff's got to be put away."
Yeah.
What's the worst thing to put away? It's freezer stuff, isn't it? It's anything that goes in the freezer. Whereas cans are a delight; they just slide straight onto the shelf. Bosh.
Do you know what I like? I don't like doing the veg down the bottom because we've got quite a small fridge, and often it can't all fit in there, and so then it's turned into this sort of Jenga thing that I can't be asked to do at all.
Can I give a little hack though for the older gentleman? Because Tom's just said, at what age do you start needing a piss at night? I'm 27 and it hasn't started yet. I'm scared about when it's going to start. I think you're all right.
Yeah, you're right for now.
The other Tom says 30, immediately at 30. No,
I'm okay. I'm generally all right.
Well, alcohol's a big problem. So if you're drinking so much alcohol before you go to bed, you're naturally going to need a piss at least once.
Because it's a diuretic, isn't it?
Yeah, diuretic. Yeah, but it's.
Oh, do you want to start doing that? Do you?
No, not really. I didn't actually take it. I did actually take a moment there. And what if I started?
No, that's fair enough.
Spoon says 42. I don't need a piss in the night, even when drunk. Spoon loves a beer as well. He's a big rugby lad.
Is he rugger?
Yeah.
Loves a tankard. Do you just snogging the lads? Do you like pissing on their foot?
Balls and cock and balls out. Go on, weigh it. See if my cock and balls weighs more than his.
Yeah. Hey guys, look! I've put my penis in my drink.
Look, I've just come in my mate's face. Thank God. Thank God you did that. Otherwise, it's been a shit night.
Oh yeah. Guys, remember last night when? Actually, I don't want to talk about last night. No, me neither.
Yeah.
Right.
What, mate? I've been in Peter. No one's known this at the bar, boys, but I've been inside Peter for the last 45 minutes. And he hasn't even realised. Yeah. What was the point I was making? Yeah. So basically, just my hack is that if you stop drinking everything, you stop drinking everything by about I don't know 7:30. And then just having little sips of water if you're a bit parched.
Right? If you're okay. I could run with that joke for a bit. That's funny. Hey guys, I'm inside Johnny and I'm not wearing a Johnny. Lads. Rugger. Yeah. You go to the R&B room. No chance. Just stay on the cheese room. Right.
Spoon, actually, just to be fair, I know Ben Spoon, and he sounds really normal. He isn't a rugger guy. He is just a bloke, but he's massive, and he does shag his mates for a laugh.
Yeah. Oh, fair. Nice neutral summary there. Good.
Actually, do you know what? I don't even know. I don't think I've ever actually met him in person now, so I don't know if he's massive. In my head, he's like a big rugby lad.
How tall are you? Spoon.
Is he Spoon? Are you one of them big fat geezers at the front of the rugby? Because I know nothing about rugby.
Yeah, you're tart at the back. He's 5'6". Yes.
So what is it? Because what I don't understand is why are some of them so massive? And you're only 5'6"
and a half.
So you
disappointing.
Ben, are you? What do you do on a rugby pitch then? If you're only 5'6",
but I got scrum half. Guaranteed is scrum half.
What do they do?
He's the little one. I play hooker. No, you don't. Wow.
Does that mean he's a big lad at the front?
Do you remember who would you know? What was his name? Not Brian Moore. He's the commentator. Jason Leonard. Yeah, Jason Leonard. Do you remember him?
No.
Yeah, little one at the front, basically. But they're not little.
He's a little one at the front. So,
yeah.
So, all right, okay. So
you're at the front of the scrum, in the middle. He does the throw-in on the line-outs. He throws it in.
Do you know what? I actually watched England versus France last weekend at the on the rugby, the Six Nations.
Yeah.
Mate, it was so good. I didn't know what was going on, but it was really exciting. I was genuinely wanted England to win, and they did.
Oh, mate, it's great to watch. I love it's. Yeah, I rarely have the time to watch it, but I do love watching it when you do like Lions tours and stuff like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, but I don't understand the Lions thing. Like, all get together and try and beat New Zealand. That's what it is, isn't it? Like, bring the Irish in because they're really good.
The British and Irish Lions, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but so in that, who are the daddies in the dressing room? Because Ireland, because I've listened to the commentary, I now know that Ireland are the best team in the Six Nations, right? Yeah. They've won it the last couple of times or something.
Yeah, they're right there.
So when the British and Irish Lions get together, who's like the daddies in the dressing room? Who listens to who?
I guess well, it depends. I think I actually was watching Lawrence Delalio on the Overlap last week, and he was saying that the thing of it is like you generally hate each other and like crunch into each other, and you have to sort of put your weapons down and all come together about a week, travel the other side of the world, and then beat the best teams in the world. So it's the challenge of it, I think, as much as anything. But naturally you'll have any team, you'll have your better players, your captain, whoever that might be.
And do they have to take some? Because I know Wales are rubbish. Do they have to take some Welsh players just because they're like, oh God, we better bring him along because he's got a limp? But
I know what you mean. I always wondered that. Like the England, say England win the World Cup. Like generally you take the bulk of them, but then there's always going to be a few of other teams. I think they do need to try and take someone from every nation. I wouldn't know,
but they shouldn't. They should just take the team that can win the best, right? But like, I'm thinking like, and this says everything about being English here and why we're probably hated by all the rest. I'm like, it's even though England are rubbish and Ireland are great, or not rubbish, I don't know what we are, but I think like 80% of the squad should still be English.
Why?
Is that how it works?
No. Yeah. No. Well, no. No, you just want the best team you can have, can't you? I don't think this is interesting to anyone. So should we...
Mate, well, I don't care. I've put 6 years into this podcast, only to be demoted to the second tier.
No, I don't like that either. Like people keep saying relegated. It's not relegated. It's a sidestep. You watch. This channel's going to be enormous.
You wait.
This channel's going to be enormous. Right. I've got lots of stuff in here. Let's talk about it. And it's funny. Okay. So, the Tottenham says, now Jaffin is on this channel, I'm expecting a lot less football chat content from this football podcast moving forwards. Well, here we are. It'll probably be about the same. Mike said, this made me laugh. Such a small amount of discussion of Newcastle versus Arsenal. Such a lot of time spent on eggs. And we'll be diving into the eggs.
Mate, yeah, so I've told people about this that don't even know you. I was like, I know, he's called James, I know.
You should say,
what he does is...
Are they like, that's genius?
They liked it. They liked the like holding... I added another egg just for the story's sake.
Right.
Of you having 2 egg warmers in your hands.
What, per pocket?
And they were like, 1 each pocket.
Yeah.
To keep your hands warm. Like, it's genius. I'm freezing out there taking the dog out. I think 2 little eggs, warmed up eggs, probably would make it a more endurable experience.
I agree. Mate, that is exactly what I was saying.
I know.
So, yeah, we've got egg chat coming up, so stick with us. The Jim Big Laugh Award.
Joe, that's what you just said. We've got egg chat later to stick with us. No one.
That's exactly
sticking around for that.
That's exactly what I stick. Joe Cuthbert, power move. When someone asks you to do them a favour, ask them to tell you again exactly what they want you to do as you pull a boiled egg out of your pocket, roll it on the desk, and peel it as you decide.
Yeah.
That's a really good show. Where's my baseball? Just go. Sorry, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to
do? I'd quite like you next week to eat a boiled egg live on during the show, but don't
happily.
There'll be but this is the thing: is there'll be people that don't know about the egg because some people don't get to this stage of the podcast. But for everybody else, if you eat an egg 5 minutes into the pod, don't even mention the egg. I won't mention it. Like it's normal. Like people are just eating boiled eggs willy-nilly. But let's make it a reality. Let's normalise eating boiled eggs.
Yeah, well, okay.
In the pod. Would you be willing to put your reputation on the line to do that?
I'm happy to eat an egg. Well, so maybe we should go to egg chat. I've also got
next week within the first 5 minutes of the pod. I need you to eat a boiled egg. I need you to have a little salt shaker and salt the egg.
You want me to salt? I'm salting the egg. Is that weird?
You're not salting the egg.
What do you mean? Where am I getting the salt from?
We'll have a little pot of salt. Bring it up with you to the office.
Well, like,
but hang on,
am I going tap, 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 eat the egg?
Yeah. I don't mean you don't need to tap it every time. I think that's excessive. But I think a couple of taps every now and then for a bit of salt. But hang on a second. Like salt and eggs go. They're like.
Oh yeah. If I'm sat down though, that's like the whole discussion last week was
You're on the move.
It being weird. So let's get to this. Right, unknown practitioner. He said, I used to live in China. And people used to eat boiled eggs in the street and in the office all the time. You're just a man of culture, Jimbo. Thank you, unknown practitioner.
I remember reading something that in China, like half the eggs are not even real. They're like made in labs. They've not got an eggs to satisfy the population.
Oh, really?
Fake eggs, China. Yeah, and they're like
fake eggs, China.
Yeah, they're in the market. They're like fake Chinese eggs. This is true.
There are these I can't remember the name of it now. They're these like they're sort of like black eggs. They're used in like Asian food. They're delicious, but they look grim.
I might have been. There is not economic motive nor practical method to produce fake eggs. To expand a bit more, other similar stories such as fake Chinese bun and fake yogurt are also widespread in 2008 to 2014, a period of which Chinese concerns on food safety peaked. However, none of them are true.
Okay. Century eggs. I'm going to show you this, and people will struggle with this, but they're actually delicious. Check this out. These are century eggs. They're like really like they're kind of like I think they're salted maybe. But you have them in Asian food a lot of the time. It's really, really nice. Yeah, you have it in congee. Really, really good. Anyway, but I wouldn't have that out. I wouldn't have that out and about in public. They're probably a bit too flimsy, and it just looks like I'm eating poo. Right. So apparently I'm a man of culture, but traveling Bostonian said, and this was top comment last week, eating an egg in public is the definition of it's not right, but it's okay. Now, this thread got pulled at in the comments last week. Liam Callahan replied to that. He said, I had one of them boiled eggs as a meal deal snack that you get in Sainsbury's, and I felt a bit dodgy. I don't know if you felt dodgy afterwards or during. Great comment from there. I'm excited to get your take on this, Flab. Salvations96 says, eating any ball-like object will make others uncomfortable. Maltesers are the only exception, but even then, I'd feel a little off. Is there something in that? Because there is something in that. It's the like.
I mean, how many circular things are we eating? Really, not many. I'll tell you what. The best circular food you can get on the planet.
On the market.
You never have in a market.
Sorry, on the market. Sorry, I spoiled. On the market, I spoiled it. Carry on.
Is a arancini. Oh, I've never had a bad arancini. It's like rice.
Yeah. Some things you can't be bad, really, can they? I think it's the wobbly. So, can I go down this road? Is it not that it's a ball object? It's more. It's the sort of wobbly nature of it. And also, would I extend it to if you just eat just protein? Like that in itself is a bit. There's a moistness to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, for example, on Tuesday this time we didn't have eggs this week on Spotify. I'd made myself some chicken breast, and I had that in like a Tupperware box. And when we finished the pod, I had a load of chicken breast. But even that, I felt a bit weird eating that. You know?
Yeah.
Or Sam used to enjoy a pack of ham, didn't he?
I mean, just knuckle ham into his gob, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Robert Denton says, I feel James's egg shame. I once bought those meal deal boiled eggs for dinner the next day, forgetting I was in the office. As they went out of date, I didn't want to waste them, so I took them into the office to eat in the kitchen while nobody was there. But a colleague came in as I was finishing them, so I tried to hurry up, but it was too late, and they spread vicious rumours about me crouching by the fridge to eat my boiled eggs. He then he replied to his own comment instead of editing. He went, hunching. It was definitely hunching.
So what happened? He's at work. He's at work and he had some boiled eggs that he didn't want to be caught eating. But what the result was that he was caught hunching by the fridge.
Yeah, he's like on edge, the whole time, and then he sees him coming. He's like that.
Shit, what's more embarrassing? What would you rather be caught doing? Masturbating or eating a boiled egg at work near the fridge?
What, hunched over?
I genuinely think masturbating is less embarrassing than getting caught eating a boiled egg hunched over by the communal fridge. It's trying to ram it down your throat quickly so no one sees.
I've got a mate of mine got caught by his flatmate and good friend as he was masturbating, and
What do you mean caught? Where?
he was in his room, and his mate sort of went to go, like, do you want to come to the pub or whatever it might be. I just went to go see on him, and he was on his bed, and he was reaching climax as he came through the door. So he turned to him and laughing and said, "I'm coming. He's like,
I'm coming. That's gone from 0 to 100 for the bloke who's walked through the door so quickly, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. I hope it was something like wildly innocent, where he's like, I'm just gonna make a cup of tea. I think Tim might like a cup of tea. Come on, let's go knock on his door.
I'm coming.
He's laughing. I'm coming.
Get out, I'm coming.
No, he didn't say get out.
No.
Amazing. Sorry, I'm a bit sniffly, if that's annoying anyone. Anyway, eggs. Look, can you see my glasses? I've got tears on them. I can't read.
You haven't actually activated your camera. I haven't been able to see you at all with this entire episode.
Oh, really?
So you know. But I just thought I was having to play along.
Can you see me now?
There you go.
There you go. I've been crying with laughter. I can't see a thing. Hang on. There we go.
There.
All right. How long we got left? Okay. Morgan Parry. I tried this egg pocket malarkey, but with me not eating eggs, I used 2 hash browns. It began with a blast of a comforting and warmth pocket on my way to uni at 9 a.m. I was pleased and started to agree with Jimbo's pocket egg. But it quickly dawned on me that I used the wrong medium. As I got to uni, my pocket was no longer warm, but had developed a damp and wet environment that would be found within a reptile enclosure. Moral of the story, James is weird for having eggs in his pocket, but if pocket food is your preference, choose the egg over the hash brown all day. There you go. Amazing stuff. So what I've kind of realised from this is so funny, is, and a couple of people spoke about this in terms of pulling the thread of the egg chat, is a new bit called Only Weird in Public. All
right.
So, Sam King said, James's egg chat got me thinking of a possible new bit. Normal things that are embarrassing to do in public, just like James eating a boiled egg. And JCC Una, or JC Kuna, said one for it's weird, but why is it weird bit. Drinking a small bottle of milk, we're talking 1 pint semi-skimmed, out in public. Most of us have milk on a daily basis in one way or another, and nobody thinks it's weird to drink a 500 milliliter bottle of pop in the street. Merge those two things together, and suddenly you're the weird one for enjoying a refreshing milk on your way to work.
Yeah, like there's if you're walking on the streets drinking a pint of milk, that's odd. That's odd.
It's quite sort of like Jack the Leg Geezer, isn't it? I've just been out with that good bird and so I've pinched a bottle of milk on the way home because I've got to do my labouring job now.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, when I was a kid, it would be you would consider going to the fridge and downing a pint of milk. That definitely happened. It did happen.
Yeah.
But walking around the street swigging a pint of milk, there's something odd about that for sure.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I think you've got till 10 a.m. to do it if you want to do the milk thing. After that,
I just don't think it's acceptable at any age, any time rather.
Yeah, I'm all right. If it's like breakfast, that's sort of your breakfast. I'm kind of okay. C Lynch, I think, or C1 inch. Oh, might be that. Why is it weird? To cut down on waste, I'll ask my local coffee shop to serve me in a regular mug I've bought with me from home.
Yeah, that's weird.
I now know that walking down the street sipping on a mug of coffee is somehow the weirdest normal thing you can do. People avert their gaze. Mothers hold their children closer. Everyone has an innate knowledge that something so normal in your home is not welcome in the public domain. Will this stop me? No. We can only move forwards. Indeed.
I just think if you've got things so together that you can remember to bring a mug on top of everything else, then that's mildly irritating, isn't it? I'm lucky enough if I remember to bring my phone, my wallet, and my car key out of the house first time of asking, let alone remembering to bring a cup to the coffee shop to avoid fucking cardboard being used.
Also, I'm like, what about the walk? Like the walk you're gonna be, when like, mate, the amount of times I'm going up to the office, the amount of times I've spilt stuff on the way up with a hot drink, ridiculous. So like, I don't know how you're walking down the street and not spilling that, or like you're on the tube with a mug of hot coffee. You're on the tube. What's going on here? Something's not right.
Yeah.
Newly discovered life hacks. Lol Meerkat says, weird life hack. If you ever struggle to wake up, this is mental. If you ever struggle to wake up and have dry eyes in the morning, have a bottle of sparkling water next to your bed, ready to go. And when you wake up, chug it for a few seconds until it makes your eyes water, and then just roll your eyes a couple of times, and boom, you're awake, hydrated, and your eyes aren't dry. I'm calling this waterboarding. Jake replied, dry eyes, are you a lizard?
There's this thing rugby lads do. Spoon's probably done this.
Yeah.
And it's called monkey facing. And you basically find your rugby mate. You trim off all of your pubes from the nether region. You make a little pile next to him as he sleeps. You jack off in front of you. I don't know why I said jack off then. I've never said jack off in my life. The jack off. What's that even mean? It's the most American thing I've ever. You jack off. I'm always too embarrassed to tell the rest of this story now. So yeah, you knock one out. That's better.
Jack one. Hey, he's got to jack one off.
You knock one out to the point of conclusion, and you issue all over his face. Right, yeah. And then you throw the pubes in his face and slap him at the same time.
Oh right.
And he wakes up and goes, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And you go, "Monkey face."
Monkey face. How do you say it? Monkey face.
I don't know how you say it really. It's not really. I don't play rugby. I won't really know, but how they say it.
Yeah, but Spoon would let us know in the mailbag.
Yeah, let us know.
Joe Byerly, life hack: whacking the shower on while having a poo. The upside is stupendous. Any unflattering grunts are muffled by the sound, and a steamy room allows even the most meaty of logs to slide right out, easy peasy. Usually a clean wipe too. Brackets, terms and conditions of fibrous diet do, however, apply. So be it.
What did that? Is that true?
What?
Do you remember? Do you remember? What did you just say?
There's a life hack to put the shower on when you have a poo.
That's it. Like, is it real? Did that happen where you'd have a poop and then it's gone? It's not in the toilet anymore, and when you wipe, there's nothing on the tissue. You've ever had a ghost poo?
What, the poo's disappeared?
Poo's gone. It can't. This has happened to other people. It's called a ghost poo, right? You go for a poo. You're like, I need a poo. Sit down. You have a poo. Right?
You jack one off.
Jack one up. Have a poo. No, but seriously, mate. You sit down. You have a poo. It feels like you've done a poo, and you go, all right, better wipe. You wipe, and you're like,
where's it gone?
There's nothing. Well, no, hang on a second. There's a process to this. You wipe, and you go, there's nothing on the paper. Why isn't there anything on the paper? That's confusing. Wipe again. Still nothing. Strange. And then you stand up and you look down the toilet and you go, there's nothing in the bowl.
Yeah, that's mad. That's never happened to me.
What is this is it, Jack Kirby's phantom poo. It's a real thing, James. This is a phenomena that exists in the West. Has
that got anything to do with the shower bit?
I don't think so, because it wasn't like I didn't shower and then go for a poo and then get the ghost poo. And honestly, you feel like $1 million afterwards because you're like, that was clean. All good.
Yeah.
And legitimately, I don't need a poo anymore, even if it wasn't real.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Really? You've even gone that far? You've gone
every level.
Hey, look.
It's like,
I don't know what's just happened there. It might not. I might not even had a poo. But the important thing is I feel better. Yeah. No, well,
it's like you know people that lose an arm and they can still feel it after they've lost their arm. It's called like phantom limb syndrome.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Right, you've still got the satisfaction of a poo. Sometimes
effectively, your brain thinks that you've still got an arm. Your brain thinks you've had a poo. You haven't. You might not have done.
Sometimes you feel vulnerable after a poo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's funny actually, because when you go into a hotel room, often the first thing you need to do, oh shit, what? The door's closed. Suddenly I need a poo. And then you think, well, maybe it's just a coincidence. That's the first time it's happened. And then the next time you go in a hotel room, immediately, bang, go on, have a poo. And you're like, why does this keep happening every single time I'm safe in the hotel room?
Is it the allure of a fresh toilet?
No, it's not. It's basically when we were cavemen, you couldn't just poo whenever you wanted. You had to be safe. Otherwise, because you're vulnerable, a saber-toothed tiger might come and eat you.
Right.
So you only poo when you're safe. Your body knows when you're safe. And when you close the hotel door room, it's like the same as finding a bush in the Serengeti.
That's fascinating. Final comment. This did make me laugh. There's one specific bit that's really made me laugh. Quite close to home, this one. Sludge puppy. Why is it weird? He says in capital letters. Okay. He says, this is him speaking now. Okay. I'm hoping others will understand me here and my story. Every time I tell it, I'm always shocked at the response. Everyone seems to think what I did was odd, and I simply don't understand. On my way to school, I'd get the bus, and there'd be this other guy, mid-40s, who'd sit on the opposite side to me, at the back of the bus. He had clean trainers. I'd noticed. He wasn't a scruffy fella. One day, he left his sandwiches as he got off. They were homemade, wrapped neatly and tightly in tinfoil. They were either turkey or chicken, I can't remember, with some salad and coleslaw. I took them and I had them for lunch. And I didn't realise I liked coleslaw until then. Is there anything wrong with this? And so he said that, and then he went, this is a bit that made me laugh. And again, clean fella, probably married. Probably married. They're the cleanest of all the people. In fact, I reckon he was married and his wife made them. There's no way a geezer, because that's what he looked like, a geezer, but just with nice trainers, would make a sandwich the way those were made on that day. Trust me.
That's genius.
Probably married. Oh, is it wrong? Was it wrong for him to take the sandwiches and eat them?
Yeah. Pretty much, Jim.
Is that not a waste of some high quality sandwiches? Someone should be eating them.
I mean, it's someone else's food, isn't it? You don't know if anyone's tampered with it. I know where you are with that because you have been there.
But mine was restaurant based. You know, it was Nando's. But whereas this is like, this hasn't been. They've not had their check from the health and safety guys, have they?
No, but hang on. We've established this on everybody knows. everybody knows your situation where you went on your first date and there was a whole chicken just standing. Someone left half a chicken on the plate, and you're on your first date, and that. Like, let us know if you don't know this story that James was on the first date with his now wife and mother of his child, and that the fact that both those things happened despite James's behaviour in the
third date. It was Valentine's Day, which so it's just sort of the anniversary of that's coming up actually.
Did you think as you was so he's eating, and in Nando's everyone's quite close together, and he's looked across and they've left, and sometimes someone might leave like half a little plate of mash, but in this instance they'd left half a whole chicken, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And James in this instance gone, I don't care if I have sex tonight. I want that chicken.
Yeah. She needs to know. She's going, that's wildly inappropriate, but he does seem to be a bit of a hunter-gatherer vibe, which I wasn't really getting up until now.
What did you say? No. Hey, you never go hungry with me.
You never go hungry with me. And has she? No.
No.
So, yeah, I know. This one is weird, I'll be honest. And the fact that you're going, again, clean fella, probably married. Actually, it's probably his wife that's made him. The fact that you're having to do that, red flag.
Yeah.
So, and that is it. The final thing I do want to read out, because I'll forget to do it if I don't do it now, and then we'll go. I got a message. Where is it?
Your message.
Okay, right. I can't. Forgive me who this is. I'm so sorry. But they went. I said, "Oh, send me your thoughts," because he wrote me a message and he said, "What was Flav on 2022?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He went, "I'm going through all the pods." I was like, "Oh, send me tell me what happened." And I can't remember. So he said, "I'm a new slug, dry, who saw my transformation from tender final uni student to shriveled slug, beginning by actually coming for the football chat, if you can believe it. I wanted to understand it all, particularly the genesis of the fans being called slugs. Turns out it was largely moist slugs insisting on being degraded. I began listening through every podcast on Spotify. Some highlights so far: fingers in mouths, the football fan periodic table bit being extended to around 7 weeks despite Flav complaining how boring it was every week, derby games, birds and that, the Sonny saga. Hope you're well, Sonny. Have I got... Oh, I had a nosebleed. Ainsley, that'll do, pig.
Yeah.
Flav's on the ropes. Don't remember that one. Shock facts you. Home wins, Nosh chat, the money shot analysis, and many more. So, yeah, if anyone does want to go back through the annals of time, or annals of time, I always get that wrong, do let us know, and do join us to talk about it on the mailbag, because we would love to speak with you. Right. Speaking of power moves, Allcott's going to QPR tomorrow. Valentine's Day special. Derby are getting a 3-course meal of football from QPR. So good luck to Queen's Park Rangers.
Did you win?
Lost in last minute.
Millwall.
Coventry. And you got Man United. Big
Mate,
game.
I cannot guarantee you, like, if you need a home banker for your accumulator, lump on Spurs beating Man United.
We'll leave it there. Right. Thanks so much, guys. Lots of love. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.